Performance USA, the greatest entertainers in America, as requested by you, the men and women in the United States Armed Forces throughout the world. Command Performance, presented this week and every week till you're back from over there. Yes, gang, it's Ken Carpenter again, come to take you on another talent tour of your favorite entertainment personalities, following the route laid out by your personal requests for your command performance. Vaudeville may be dead, points may go up and points may go down, but command performance carries on. So synchronize your watches whilst we regale you with a half hour of your selected favorites. And just to show you that we mean business, we begin by presenting a delectable example of how life can be beautiful in this new anatomic age, Miss Lena Romai. Miss Romai sings Chio Chio.
Mira que la vida es triste, que tu cantar me alegra el corazón. Chiu, 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 chiu. Chiu, 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 chiu. Canta, canta, pajarito, que tu cantar me alegra el corazón. Con tus gorjeos, con tu trinar, despierta el alba, la noche ya se va. Con tus gorjeos, con tu trinar, despierta el alba, la noche ya se va. Chiu, 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 chiu. My heart singing just for two. Chiu, 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 chiu. This is the song I sang last night to you. Chiu, 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 chiu. Means my heart is on the wing. Chiu, 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 chiu. And when you're near, I hear an angel sing. My love is soaring, I'm flying high. You're so adoring, my heart is in the sky. The bird that's singing will soon be through, and I'll be winging my song of love to you. Chiu, chiu, chiu. Chiu, chiu, chiu. Mira que la vida es triste, que tu cantar me alegra el corazón. Chiu, chiu, chiu. Chiu, 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 chiu. Canta, canta, pajarito, que tu cantar me alegra el corazón. Chiu, chiu. Chiu, chiu, chiu. Chiu, 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 chiu.
Thank you, Lena. And now here's Beatrice Kay of musical comedy fame, bringing you one of her incomparably special song versions, When the Mush Begins to Rush Down Father's Vest.
Now, regarding the song, When the Mush Begins to Rush Down Father's Vest, we are fresh out of copy, but we're going to do a little research, old man. And now, fellas, I'd like to sing you a very sad song. I'd like you all to order beer so you can cry in it. With your kind permission, I should like to render The Curse of an Aching Heart. You made me what I am today. I hope you're satisfied. You dragged and dragged me down until my soul within me died. You shattered each and every dream. You pulled me from the start. And though you're not true, I still love you. That's the curse of an aching heart. was a tearjerker. But in the gay 90s, they had peppy songs, too, like Put Your Arms Around Me, Honey. Don't look at me, brother. And that's become very popular recently all over again. So first, I'd like to sing it for you the way some young ladies have their own peculiar way of singing it today. Put your arms around me, honey. Hold me tight. Huddle up and cudgel up with all your might. When you roll those eyes. Eyes. When they look at me, my heart begins to blow. Then it starts a rocking like a motorboat. I never knew any boy like you. But in the gay 90s, they sang it like this. Put your arms around me, honey. Hold me tight. Huddle up and cuddle up with all your might. Oh, babe, won't you roll those eyes? Then I'll just add in lies. When they look at me, my heart begins to flutter. Then it stops rocking like a motorboat. I never knew, yes, sir. I never knew, no, sir. I never knew any boy like you.
Thank you, Miss Kay. And now, you music lovers, if Beatrice Kay has made you properly nostalgic for the good old days, forget it, because our next jump takes us from the sublime to the Roseland, presenting one of the greatest jam groups of all time. For your requests, in Command Performance's All-American Jam Session, it's Tommy Dorsey on the trombone, Count Basie on the piano, Buddy Rich on the drums, Illinois Jacquette on the tenor sax, Lionel Hampton on the vibraphone, Artie Shaw on the clarinet, Sergeant Ed McKinney on the bass, Sergeant Ziggy Elman on the trumpet, and Les Paul on the guitar, all knocking themselves out over that immortal swing classic, Honeysuckle Rose. So roll up your bobby socks, fellas, and start jumping. Nice going, lads. It only goes to prove that a honeysuckle rose by any other name band would not sound so sweet and hot. Well, you're keeping pace with us, gang? Good, because we're going to change pace again with another South American melody, Rica Pulpa, sung by the ever-popular Carlos Ramirez.
Rica pulpa de tamarindo, la trae hoy este pulpero en su tablero para vender. ¡Sobre, negrito, ahora de aquí! Al salir, niña hermosa, a escuchar mi pregón, luces como una rosa de las muchas que engalanan su balcón. Pulpa, rica pulpa, es mi pulpa más sabrosa que la miel, cual la pulpa de unos labios que curaron mis agravios. Con la pulpa voy mi casera, endulzando yo la Habana entera con el azúcar de mi pulpa. Rica pulpa, es sabrosa como besos de mujer. Pulpa, rica pulpa, ay, caserita, no me regañes, mi rica pulpa es para vender. Ay, 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 mi negra linda, mi caserita, mi rica pulpa es para vender. Cual la pulpa de unos labios que curaron mis agravios. Con la pulpa soy mi casera, endulzando yo la Habana entera con el azúcar de mi pulpa. Rica pulpa, es sabrosa como besos de mujer. Pulpa, rica pulpa, como besos de mujer. Y ándale.
You know, men, Spanish is definitely the language to learn these days, what with people like Carlos Ramirez and, well, of course, Lena Romay. However, there's one young man here tonight who needs no language to get along, no matter where he goes, because he's got one all his own. He just opens his mouth, breathes slightly, cups his hands, and people of all nations sit spellbound. His name, Larry Adler. His fame, well, show 'em, Larry, with your hand-to-mouth boogie. Thank you, Larry Adler. Well, fellas, we have with us tonight a man who is recognized the world over, not only as philosopher and man of letters, but also as the only man to succeed where Dale Carnegie failed. He is seated at his typewriter composing the story of his colorful life. It gives me great pleasure to present to you Professor Misha Auer, A.B., Ph.D., and D.D.T.
The Memoirs of Misha the Magnificent. I was born at an early age in the little town of Zhenyepriechta Trickenkevich, which is now known as Zhenyepriechta Psanya Trickenkevich, or APO 920. One day, having tried on a pair of my cast-off father's cast-off sailor pants, I realized that I must have this uniform for my own. No other pants would fit me. Footnote. Destiny, it seems, has shaped my end. Unfootnote. I thought perhaps the sea would be my calling, but after all, I was just a green lad trying to mold a career for myself. Green, moldy Misha, they called me. Determined to find out all I could about travel, I studied industriously, and the next 2 years I could be found every evening with my eyes glued to a book. Footnote. That's the hard way to read. Unfootnote. But I persisted, and one night in the public library, I met Linda. She was lovely, fragile, blossom-like girl. The shy droop of her long brown eyelashes sent my senses reeling. This delicate creature was engrossed in a weighty periodical of current affairs. I, too, became absorbed in this, and as fate would have it, we both reached to turn the page. As our fingers touched, our eyes met, and in a velvety voice filled with music, she softly whispered, "Hey!"
Hey, quit reading over my shoulder, you jerk! I seen these comics twice.
With such a tender romance to spur me on, I determined on a college career, and I wasn't long before I had enrolled in the college of my dreams. Ah, good old deplorable state. With its walls covered with clinging mortgages and an entrance covered with creeping creditors. Although I studied hard, I also found time for many sports. I was excellent at track and tennis. I even tried to play cricket, but was forced to give this up because of weak hind legs. But soon my college career came to an end. I received a cable from my mother, who by now was living in a small farm in Australia. Wishing to do my duty toward my mother and our homogenized koala bear, I immediately booked passage on a good ship, Termite Castle, which displaced 4,000 tons, 2 of my vertebrae, and 4 of my ribs. As I lay in my little cabin that night, I could hear the huge pistons of the ship. They seemed to din and refrain into my ears. So I took an aspirin and went to sleep. The next afternoon, romance once again reared its pretty kisser. While I was standing by the rail, I met Clarissa. She was beautiful. Such eyes, like 2 quarts of oil in a rain barrel. Cool and moist as a cocker spaniel's nose in a gopher hole. Yet with a rich, deep purple depth of overripe avocados stuck in a pair of bobby socks. Soon we were deep in conversation. Clarissa, you're wonderful. I want to cover your lips with kisses.
Well, you better start now, kid. You got a long trip ahead of you.
Right then and there, I fell head over heels. On the deck of the speeding ship, Clarissa, terrified that she might lose me, screamed the alarm.
Man overboard.
Footnote. It was a fine time for laryngitis. Unfootnote. Being a strong swimmer, I struck out for the Twin Islands, which I knew were nearby. The islands were called I Wanna and She Don't Wanna. swam quickly to Australia, picked up my mother, and brought her back to America. After living in luxury for 6 months, I received a crude shock. My mother said,
Son, they fired me at the laundry. You'll have to go to work now.
If any of you men would like a copy of the professor's autobiography, please think it over more fully. And while you're doing that, here's that old train man, Johnny Mercer, who's going to give you the sad, sad word on the wreck of the old 97.
They gave him up his orders at Monroe, Virginia, saying, Steve, you're way behind time. This is not 38, but it's old 97. You must put her into Spencer on time. Steve Brody said to his big, greasy fireman, shovel on a little more coal. And when we cross that White Oak Mountain, you can watch old 97 roll. It's a mighty rough road from Lynchburg to Danville. Lima's on a 3-mile grade. Hey, it was on this grade when he lost his air brakes, and you see what a jump he made. He was falling down this grade at 80 miles an hour, and his whistle began to scream. Woo-hoo! He was found in the wreck with his hand on the throttle, where he'd scalded it to death from the steam. Take warning from this time on and learn. Never speak harsh words to your true loving husband. He may leave you and never return. Never speak harsh words to your true loving husband. He may leave you and never return.
Well, gang, it's about time to close up shop again and put the old command performance in the roundhouse for another week of overhaul before we take you on another cross-country, cross-continent tour of your favorite entertainment. Till then, this is Ken Carpenter reminding you that this is your command performance, based solely on the requests you send in to Armed Forces Radio, Los Angeles, USA. So send those letters our way, fellas, and we'll beam them back to you. This is the Armed Forces Radio Service.